I am live. I am live. Late night live tarot pop up. All right. Love to see it. Let me check to see if it is. Should be live on my channel. Oh, I already see people. Hey, astronauts, how are you? I'm doing a pop up right now. Hold on, I have to check my phone. I've been having issues. I'm not surprised. In Vedic astrology, Jupiter's went into Gemini, and literally day of, guys, my phone starts to act a little wonky. So that's me. That's what I'm dealing with here.
You should switch to 1-800 contacts because
the commercials are working. But let me. Okay, sound is working. Sound is working. Late night pop up. I'm super excited for this. Hopefully, you astronauts, well, you guys are all around the world, mainly in the US, though. But I know I got a lot of West Coasters, West Coaster subscriber astronauts. So hopefully, you guys, this isn't too late for you. It is a Friday night, so. But hopefully you guys are in the house ready for a pop-up because I am ready to take questions. I wanted to go live this lovely week. Been feeling antsy. I just finished the June 2025 readings. So I will be officially done filming for May, and then I will start filming for June this weekend. A card is already flown out all the way to the side. Impossible. Just flying. So I am ready. I am ready. Let me know if there's been any energy shifts for you guys lately. I'll still be going live Sunday as per usual. And I do want to remind you that I'm doing private readings. So if you want a private reading, go ahead and get one. I may think about like doing it periodically, throughout the year. I'm not going to be able to do it like consistency with school, but like periodically, I'm thinking I could probably open it up like a couple of weeks and things online, on and off. I think that could work, until I graduate, and then I can just open it up full time. But yes, I am excited. You said, are you accepting super chats for the reading? Yes, I am accepting super chats. It is $5 for yes, no, and $10 for anything in depth. But yes, I accept super chats for sure. Because I know not everyone has a CashApp or PayPal. Those are my preferred methods, but if you don't have access, super chats work. And let me know how you're doing, Hakeem. Whoa. This deck's ready to answer some questions. So I hope you guys have them ready for me. Hope your weekend or your week hasn't been as frustrating as mine. Literally, I was just going on about how Jupiter went into Gemini and Vedic astrology, and literally day of, I start having issues with my phone. I can't. The issues are so like bad that I went to an expert and they were like, there's nothing I can do. So I've got to figure out how to solve it on my own. But that's life. I've definitely heard a lot of people have had some questions. Okay, this deck obviously wants me to stop shuffling. Okay, I'm going to put this deck down. It's been shuffled enough. But yes, a lot of changes this week. I've definitely heard it from people in my own personal life. But you guys let me know if you've had any like shifts or changes in your lives. For me, there's been some people moving out at work or finding different roles. Okay, Hakeem has a question. What is Yiza's current feeling towards me? Will she reach out? Let's get into this. We have the Eight of Wands, the Page of Cups reversed, and the Five of Swords. I don't know if you and Yiza got into an argument or disagreement, or maybe there were just some words said between you two that weren't the most agreeable or, harmonious. But Yiza's feelings are a little bit all over the place because we have this Eight of Wands here. There's an element of care, but there's also this element of frustration going on here, especially with the Page of Cups reverse. The Page of Cups reverse is a feeling of not wanting to reach out. So I don't think Yiza is going to reach out. Only because if it were upright, it would be like I'm extending an olive branch, but reversed, it's kind of like I'm almost ready to burn some bridges here. With the Five of Swords, it does sort of indicate having some sort of feeling of jadedness or feeling scorned in some sort of way. But definitely there's some hurt there, right? For Yiza, it feels a little bit like I don't know, maybe like a betrayal, or even there's a feeling of like, oh, this person is out to get me. This person doesn't have my back. The Page of Cups reverse generally means feeling a bit unsupportive. It feels, or he or she feels, I'm not sure if this is, she feels like this relationship is not supportive of her mental health. She doesn't feel like she has a lot of trust within this relationship. She feels like, I don't know if I can trust this person to take care of me emotionally. I don't feel a safe space. So if by some odd chance she does reaches out, which the cards are kind of implying she's not likely to, it's not going to be the most emotionally mature message. She's going to come from a place that is very defensive, or maybe even a little bit on the attack, or playing more of like the blame game. So I don't think that's maybe what you want to hear, but she's definitely has some strong feelings, especially with the Page of Cups. But I think right now she's very hurt or guarded, or even feeling like, why did this person do this? Or why does this person not have my back in any way? And she's probably going to focus on a little bit more of taking care of herself with this Queen of Pentacles here. Queen of Pentacles definitely wants to make sure that they are taking care basically of their things that make them feel happy, comfortable, complete. She's definitely focusing on being very guarded, being very like defensive. The Emperor can be quite tense. I've definitely gotten the Emperor to represent some sort of like argument, or even just being up to battle, or not wanting to let anybody into their space for a minute. It's just very individualistic. And so her mindset is focusing on her feelings, her thoughts, what she's going through, and things along the lines of that, Hakeem. Let me know if anything resonates with you. Yeah, let me know. And let me see. Ari says, how are you? I sent for one question. Oh, hey, Ari, how are you? I'm doing pretty good, actually. I'm glad the week is over. It's been quite a rough week. It's been tough, but I've made it through. And I hope you're doing well. But yeah, Hakeem, let me know if it resonates. Let me know what you think. And Yiza, did you put the question where you sent it? Sometimes I know people do that, and I want to make sure that I'm getting to it. No, I feel you. This week has been something else. It really has. I mean, I'm just thinking about it, and I'm thinking about like other people. Jupiter has gone into Gemini, and then also, and this is in Vedic astrology, and also in Vedic astrology this week. Well, technically, it's the start of the next week, but Sunday, I believe Rahu is changing signs. It's going into the sign of Aquarius. So this week has two sort of major shifts in Vedic astrology. And so I wouldn't be surprised if things were a little bit like turbulent. After I send in my complaint, will my coworker face repercussions for how she blew up at me today? Let's see. I plan on writing a statement to my director. Ooh, man. Let's get into this. Whoa, these three cards want to come out. Okay, we have the Five of Wands. Woo. We have the Eight of Swords, and we have the Star. So I don't know if this person will face repercussions right away. You know, I love how on the card it says conflict, isolation, and things along the lines. It gives you like little words at the top. To me, what it looks like is the person that you are sort of like writing to or making the complaint towards, they're likely not wanting to get like too involved in the situation. More than likely, they're going to do their best to try to keep the peace. So I don't know if they're going to come down too hard on your coworker. They're more than likely going to have a conversation. Thanks, Paula. Oh, how do you say that? Is it Paul? Oh, I don't know how to say it without the L. Paula. Okay. Hopefully, help me pronounce that. But as I was saying, this person that you're reporting to, they're not going to feel like they want to get too involved in the situation. And so even if they have a conversation with the person, they're probably not going to come down too hard on them, just because we have this Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords holds back on everything that they want to say. Oh, thank you for giving me your full name. On what they want to say. And they're just going to say, okay, let's keep the environment peaceful. Let's keep it friendly. Now, it's possible if they do something again, then they might say something. But I have this strong feeling that they're kind of brush past this a bit. All right. They're just going to kind of hope that they're going to want to wait for this to sort of blow over a bit. They may have a sort of like high level conversation, meaning like, okay, let's have like a brief discussion about like this behavior really quickly. Like, don't do this again. This is how we talk to people. The Star card is more so kind of like talking to people in groups. And so they might send out like an email to the company. They might have like a meeting where they say like, okay, this is the behavior that we expect. They might sort of reiterate company policy, but it's not the most full in-depth discussion. They might even, bring you two in a room and let you guys, resolve the conflict and take this step back. These cards represent distance, okay? They represent sort of not being involved. They represent being like hands-off, third-party situation. Like, I'm going to listen to both sides, but I'm not really going to lay down the hammer. So I don't think they're going to get into too much trouble. Okay, we got some more cards, but that's too many. So I'm just going to shuffle from, okay. Sometimes the cards do that because they want to narrow down just to a few cards. So let's shuffle just these. Okay, and this card wants to come out. We have the Hermit. So yeah, more than likely, they're just going to look at things and sort of see how it plays out. Don't get me wrong, they may think about how in the future they want to resolve the conflict if it comes up again, but they may not do something this time. He said, I might have to escalate it then, because this isn't the first time she's blown up in general. Before I got hired, she tried to get physical with another worker. She's hostile in general. Ooh, that's not very good. Yeah, I mean, if she's getting physical, you may want to escalate it past this person, because I don't think this person is going to take the steps that they need to take to pacify the situation all the way. And we have the Five of Pentacles. All of these cards about like isolation, not getting involved, pulling away, very much like not doing something. I'm going to see what would happen if you escalate it really quick, just to get a bigger picture. Okay. This card definitely wants to come out. Okay. We have the Knight of Wands. Okay. So somebody wants to take quick action. And we have the Magician. So if you escalate it, I think they'll quickly try to facilitate a conversation. Maybe want to get your side of things, maybe get their side of things. Okay. But then we have we have this Five of Swords again. I don't know if the culture is just like not good at resolving conflict, but it's like if you escalate things, the tensions will get thicker. And I think they'll probably try to focus more so on protecting the company. I don't think that they'll completely have your back. They'll probably be a little bit shady, because when I get the Five of Swords, it kind of represents like they may just be focusing on their needs. They're like, I've got to make sure I protect the company. I have to make sure that we look good. I have to make sure that this doesn't come back to bite us. And so it's not like who's wrong or who's right. They're more just focusing on how they can protect themselves and their own interests. They're not really looking out for your interests or this person's interest. They're going to be looking out for their own interest. So the conversation that they facilitate won't exactly be beneficial or helpful to you. I'm not saying you still shouldn't report it, because obviously these things should be on record in case you need to take any sort of legal action. But I'm saying I think this company has, they don't have the best environment and support for their workers. To me, it just feels like things are about to get like very heated and very passionate. Yeah, it shows. It doesn't show a very good company that wants to look out and help people or even hear them out. It's really just, I'm protecting my own interests. If things escalate, if you escalate it, they're going to push back, or they're going to try to shut you down in some way. And it's just going to get a little bit more, what's the word I want to put it? Conflicting. Like it gets more hostile. Hostile's the word that I want to use. So I'm sorry that you're in that situation, Aria, because that's like really unfair to you. I hope you can get out of that and find a better place to work so you don't have to deal with that. I know that's got to be terrible to know that you just aren't safe there, either physically or emotionally, because no job is really worth all of that stress. So I say, it's obviously your choice if you still want to go through with it. And it is a good decision to at least document things for yourself. Or, I don't know what would happen. I don't know if it'd be best or good or bad in the long run to send an email. That you might want to speak to a lawyer about. But yeah, it does seem like this company is pretty shady. Let me pick up these cards. Okay. He said, yeah, it's a hospital, so I'm planning on switching departments in a few months. So I think I'll be okay. All right, good. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, switch it up. Get out of there. You're welcome. All right, we're doing Paula. Paula has a great question. Let's see. What's my next relationship / partner going to be like? I always love these type of questions. Love, 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 love. Oop, card fell out. Two of Swords. a little bit indecisive. All right. They're that type of person who can see the best in, or can see both sides of an issue, both side benefits or cons. Like, this person is definitely the type to weigh out pros and cons of a situation. And it may take them a while to decide what is best when it comes to matters. There's always that example of trying to decide what place to eat. This is a very, indecisive person. They may be like, okay, well, maybe I want to go to Red Lobster, but then maybe I also want to go to Texas Roadhouse. Like, it's just like very, very hard for them to come with those decisions. It takes them a while to sit and think. It can be very good though, because the Two of Swords is obviously a reflective card. It's a card of also not wanting to argue. So when we have this Two of Swords, this is somebody you said, LML, I am in stew how. That is crazy. But they're definitely the type of person who doesn't want to argue. If they feel like an argument's coming on, they're like, all right, okay, let's just agree to disagree, that we have different perspectives. If they have two people arguing, this is the type of person to like be on the fence and say, hey, I understand both of your perspectives, and I don't necessarily want to get involved. You said you're indecisive as well. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you both have similar energies. People tend to attract what they are themselves. It's kind of funny. You even see on this card, Moon and Libra. And yeah, definitely Moon and Libras like to take their time to think things through. Okay, those cards flew. Let me go with these. Let me give more about this person. We have the Ten of Pentacles, but it'd be a little bit reversed because it's following the Two of Swords. That's not necessarily bad. It sort of just means that they feel like they have a lot of great things within their life that they're appreciative of, but they feel like there could be some improvements in their life when it comes to maybe long-term stability, certain goals may be unmet. Like, for example, if they were saving up for a certain car, maybe the car is really great, it's nice, but the insurance is too high. And so they're at a place in their life where they're sort of reevaluating their goals, or what exactly it is that they truly want, or they may even feel like something is missing in a sense. Okay, so that's kind of like where they are. The cards are kind of giving their current state of mind. It also can represent feeling like sometimes they don't feel like they have found their tribe completely yet. They may feel like they have a great group of friends, they have a good family, but they feel like they're missing somebody who may truly understand them or really connect with them on the level that they wish to find connection, where they can feel a true sense of belonging. And that's kind of like how they feel with where they're at in their life. We have the Wheel of Fortune to talk a little bit more about their personality. So this is a very giving person. Generally, this is a type of person who is always trying to extend what they have to other people, generally very generous and thoughtful in that sense. It's also a great card because it shows that they are a hardworking person and they're always looking to go to that next level. And the Wheel of Fortune obviously represents change and transformation. So we know that this person has gone through many stages in their life. Sometimes people, they don't change too much, or, they're kind of the same since they were children. This is the type of person who maybe if they told you about their past, you're like, that's not the person who I thought you were. That's not who you are today. Like, I can't even imagine that. But they have gone through so many different transformations and changes in their life. And I love the Wheel of Fortune because it definitely brings about a partner who has a sense of wisdom, who has a sense of understanding, and they give great advice. Jupiterian people are often known as counselors, and Jupiter is known as the teacher. They're the type of person you go to when you need some advice, when you need some guidance. You can often find Jupiterian people, especially nowadays on the internet, being like, dating gurus and things along the lines of that. It represents having a very good understanding of people, and their natures, as well as what's the best way to help me get ahead. So I love the deep perspective you bring as you read the cards. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But yeah, this is a very, what's the word I want to give? Jupiterian energy is very emotionally controlled generally. Like, this is a type of person, it would be very hard to see them get angry. So what I've noticed is when, like, Jupiterian people are very angry, they're very calm generally. I'm going to say that. And they're able to control that emotion. And I think it's because it comes through going through so many different circumstances and recognizing certain patterns and what works best. Let's throw a little bit more in there. Five of Swords. I need to clarify that. And the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Okay, this might be describing an event in their life. So for them, they've gone through some circumstances in which other people may have taken advantage of their time, their efforts, their money, their willingness to give. They have faced a lot of different betrayals, as well as they have been underappreciated in different circumstances and points in their life. And I'm sure that has some sort of effect on them psychologically. But generally, it just feels like they have gone through a lot of circumstances where people have generally just wasted their time, wasted their energy, and kind of just casted them aside. It just shows a lack of appreciation when I see this combination of cards. And it also shows that they've gone through many different circumstances where they may have failed, or they've been cheated out of a position, or cheated out of a job, maybe literally cheated on a relationship. But it really definitely shows that they've gone through some hard betrayals, or had undergone some false promises from people many of times. So there may be a sense of naivete to this person. And then I'm going to pull one last card and see how they will be with you in this relationship. We have the Emperor for how they'll sort of like interact with you. Emperor is very protective energy. It's also a card of stability. So they're very consistent with you. They show that they are someone you can rely on, someone who is very straightforward, pretty much to the point. It shows that with you, that they are someone who is obviously looking out for both of you guys' future together, because that's what the Emperor does. He doesn't just look out for his future, he looks out the future to all of his kingdom. So he's looking out for both of you's best interests. And I think this person is very passionate towards you, because the Emperor is connected to Mars and Aries. And so it shows that this person has a very, I guess, strong desire towards you, if we're going to be PG. And I really love this card, because it shows somebody who's willing to look out for you, watch over you, to make sure that nobody's, bothering you. If somebody gets on your nerve, they're like, what can I do? I got your back. Like, they're the type of person to defend your rights and your wrongs. So this is somebody who shows a very good, strong amount of loyalty towards you. It says, that makes sense. I've been through that too. People can really suck. Maybe you guys are going to bond over that. That's probably something you two are bonding over, that you've been through these situations where people really were just shady and unkind and really taking advantage of generosity. He said, sounds great. Can't wait to meet him. I'm so happy that you're going to find somebody who has that strong characteristics, you know, very confident energy. I feel like with you, this person is going to have a stronger sense of confidence because we have the Emperor for how they are with you. So it's almost like you bring out more confidence within this individual too. I think this is going to be a good relationship. So guys, let me know if you have any more questions. And don't forget, I'm offering private readings. And you can also catch me this Sunday. I'm going live. I've already announced that. That's scheduled, just in case you didn't know. Trying to think if any more announcements. Oh, yes, but I think I'll put it on the post. But I can say it here too. I have been trying to write a tarot book for a while. And I've been thinking about, you know, the best format is supposed to be for beginners. And I was thinking, said, where can I get a private reading? Thank you so much. The link should be in the description bar. Under the video, should say private readings, and it'll link you to the form. Once you fill out the form, I'll, you know, message you to let you know that I've got your reading, and then I'll start working on it, and I will send you the video or the audio depending on what type of reading that you chose. So that is where you can get it. Hopefully that was clear, trying to give clear directions. Sometimes my brain and my mouth, they don't align. But as I was saying, I am trying to write a tarot book, so I'm trying to figure out the best format. And I was wondering if you guys wanted like certain bullet points for meetings of cards, if you would prefer examples of how to read cards in combos, like reading 2 cards together, 3 cards together, 4 cards together. But let me know. I'm going to make an announcement on the posts as well, and probably try to quiz you guys as I'm writing the book. Most of it is written, but I do have to think about formatting. So I sent one on PayPal. Hey, Marlon, how are you? I hope you are doing well this week. I know this week has been rough for me, but I'm hoping it's not been rough for everyone. I only wish you guys well, because you guys are so amazing and supportive, and honestly, you're making my dreams come true. So to me, I'm just like, you guys are absolutely amazing, and you help me so much. I feel like I learn and grow. So hopefully I can provide that sense of support as well. But let me get to your question. How does Nick feel about me? It's a better week than last. A lot of work, but not down for some reason. That's good. I'm glad that it's a better week than last week. So it sounds like things are looking up for you. That is 100% good to hear. Let's get into how Nick feels. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the 5 of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. Okay, so Nick has a lot of feelings here. I'm trying to show all the cards. There we go. So Nick has a lot of feelings here. I don't know if you've been in conflict or there's been some strife with Nick, but generally I do get the 5 of Wands to represent that sense of conflict. If not externally, then internally. So Nick's feelings are a bit more so like they feel like they may have to defend themselves in some way, or they may feel like they might be competing for your attention. So maybe I need to clarify this 5 of Wands. So we have the 8 of Cups, and it would be reversed, because it's highlighting this Five of Wands here. To me, it feels like this person doesn't want to be left behind. I don't know if you've been busy lately, possibly, not necessarily talking to other people romantically, but just maybe had other obligations that you've had to take care of, or even just having your attention spread in a different direction. But the way this person feels is that they would like to keep the connection going, but to me, it seems like either you're very busy or this person is very busy, and it's almost like there isn't enough space to build the connection that they would like to build. Okay, that's what I'm saying. The Page of Pentacles and the Knights here, they're very new when it comes to working on and building relationships. So it's almost like this person is like, I want to keep things friendly. I don't want to get into a space where our communication is falling flat, or it feels like we're just having misunderstandings, or even just quick hellos, quick goodbyes, where we're both spinning off in different directions, and it feels like fleeting one day, or it feels very like what's the word, acquaintance and platonic like the next. So their feelings are like, there's room to build upon this relationship, but it may be a bit challenging. That's kind of like how this person feels. We have the Page of Swords here. So obviously, with all these sort of like court cards, I like to call them, it represents wanting to be in contact, wanting to be in communication, wanting to spend time together. But is there room for that? I'm not sure. There may even be some things that need to be addressed, that they don't want to just brush past. Maybe, at least this is my assumption, because we have this Five of Wands and this Eight of Cups. There may have been some moments between you and Nick that Nick feels like were moments of contention, and they aren't ready to move past those moments, meaning they are not sure how to properly bring them up, or there's some things that need to be clarified for them. And they're trying to figure out the best way to have this conversation in a way that's friendly, that doesn't cause, too much defensiveness or attacking or anything along the lines of that. Because this Eight of Cups reverse is representing, hey, I don't want to move on from this this moment of argument, or moment where it feels like we have two different opinions on something. It's almost like if you meet someone, they say something that you're not sure you agree with, but you don't want to start a whole thing about it, but at the same time, you're like, we probably should address this. We probably should have a conversation about this to clear the air. So Nick's feelings are like, I need to have a conversation with you to clear the air on certain matters. I want to keep things friendly. And then all of the things that I mentioned before, where things may feel a little bit like we don't have as much time to chat, and things seem very platonic at the moment. So let me know if that resonates, Marlon. It does. Okay. Well, I mean, I would say I'm glad it resonates, but it doesn't sound like the most positive. It doesn't sound like the most negative, but it doesn't sound like the most positive situation. To me, it feels like you guys got to have a conversation. You guys just need to speak to each other a little bit more, make more time for each other. And I think this will start to move in a direction that'll be good for both of you, you know? I really do. You said, I like how you read the cards and have a stream of consciousness and you're just stumbling over words and not sure, you know, what's going on. But to me, it makes sense. That's what it feels like, to be honest, because I'm just reading the cards and I don't know your specific situation, but the cards are giving me, I look at it as they're giving me hints as to what's going on, you know? Like you read and you're unsure if it's making sense, but it's always accurate. It's because I'm being brought into other people's worlds and I'm like, the cards are telling me things and I'm just like, okay, hopefully this makes sense to you. This is what Spirit's telling me to tell you. But I'm glad it's always accurate, you know. That is good to hear. Because sometimes I hear things and I'm like, what? Is that the situation? Reminds me of last week when I'm trying to remember who said it. I have to go back to the lives. They had an event and a dress to wear, and I was just like, are they wearing a black dress with a slit? And they were wearing a black dress with a slit. It's funny how the cards will give you those weird specific messages, and I'm just like, why are you telling me that weird specific thing? And it's like, oh, because it's relevant to them. But let you guys let me know. Oh. Let me know if you have any more questions. And I'm going to make the post about my tarot book because I want, it's the whole purpose of the book, let me say, is it's supposed to be for like everyday tarot. I haven't seen too many books that just kind of like make tarot apply to like everyday regular stuff. And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to communicate that. And obviously make it useful to people, because I'm always about like having practical interpretations and things. I'll have to give you guys, you know, the gist on things so you can vote on it. And then I believe starting July, I'm going to do the polls again. So I'll probably throw it in there at one of the polls. It's funny because I'm not really taking this seriously because this is my coworker, and I guess he is either wanting a serious conversation about boundaries or a serious conversation about what we are. Oh, I see. So we could go either way. That is very interesting. I really hope that you two manage to have that conversation so you both can gain a sense of clarity, because right now the energy is very like confusing. And who knows, maybe this can turn into something really good. You know, this might end up being something romantic and life changing. We never know where life takes us. So I'm hoping for the positive. But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. There's always another one. You know, you can find someone different, a better guy suited if it doesn't work out with him. If there's one thing I know about life, it will always surprise you. For sure. But I'm surprised some of you are even up. But I know a lot of people watch me on the West Coast. I think California is like my biggest viewers. So thank you, Cali people from the West Coast. I appreciate you. I appreciate all my astronauts, but I get the viewers there not. Usually I'm the one chasing or waiting or wanting a conversation. You know, isn't it funny how things flip and now you're the one on the other side of it, you know, and he's waiting for this conversation. Life does that. Well, I'm trying to remember what that saying goes. There's like some kind of saying where things always flip the other way. I'm trying to remember what it is. I swear I have an old brain. Not the shoes on the other foot, but there's another one. But life really does work out that way. And I'm just going to let everyone know again that I am offering private readings for the first 3 weeks of May. And then I'm probably going to do them periodically throughout the year until like the end of December. And then I'll do just a full open private reading thing again. And that should be, you know, after I graduate, I'll have more time for readings, fingers crossed, you know, unless I get some kind of job that's making me work 60 hours, which I can't imagine that for me. I don't think I'll ever go back to that. I'll ever go to that. Not that I've ever done 60 hours a week for a job, but I don't think I'll be in that position. But and then what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, reminder, in June the months will be like urgent messages readings for that month, and then July we'll go back to random selections surprise readings that I like doing, and I'll start polling again, and it will be great to get your thoughts on reading ideas. I have so many. I'll probably start polling mid-July just because I want to get at least 1 or 2 readings down that you guys have suggested. And also, just another reminder, Jupiter has entered Gemini this week from Vedic astrology's perspective. And then another Vedic transit that's important is Rahu going into Aquarius. So Jupiter in Gemini is going to bring in expansion of conversations, of meeting more people, of maybe even upskilling for some travel, more than likely making some strong decisions about your future. It is also different ways to make money if you look at it that way, because it's like the efforts you make to make money or gain money. So that's why it's the skills house. Also about expanding your mind. So that's why I say it's about having conversations, learning things, growing your mind. And then Rahu in Aquarius, that is going to bring about a lot of innovation and change and transformation just in general, because that is what Rahu is all about. And we all know Aquarius is a sign of major innovation. So be on the lookout for that. It can also bring about some maybe shocking celebrity events, upheavals in real estate, stock market. Granted, yes, stock market, because K2 will be in Leo in Vedic astrology's perspective. So that is what those kind of energies bring in general. So you may see more social media madness, stuff you could never even imagine in your wildest dreams with Rahu going in Aquarius. But obviously the energies are different from everybody. I just wanted to give that reminder. And no announcements for me, you know. Same old here. I'm going to be live Sunday, 1 p.m. Check it out. Time is on the community tab. So I'll be live while Rahu, I don't know what time it's entering Aquarius, but on the day that it is entering Aquarius, I will be going live. I love going live during like major transits and stuff. It's always good to be there during the energy shifts. And I got these cards ready for anyone who has any more questions. And if not, I will close out in 10 minutes or so, but I'll be here. I'll be here for at least another 10 minutes, ready to answer your questions. If not, you guys can come back Sunday with some questions and I'll be here then, or even get a private reading from me while they are consistently open. I'll say that, consistently open. And I'm hoping next week will be a good week for everyone. I know as Jupiter went to Gemini, I started having phone issues and I had so much work. Do you think we can see what the conversation potentially might be about? Yeah, I could pull a card for that. Okay. We have the Queen of Wands. I mean, I'm not scared to ask him. We got the Queen of Wands. It just kind of just shows that the conversation is not really about work. I mean, there may be some throwing of some responsibilities and work things, but it's really more of a conversation about engaging in your passions and things. No, I'm not going to pay LOL. Things that you're passionate about. They want to talk about anything that is of interest to you, meaning like things that you might do for fun or even personal beliefs or opinions that you might have. That's generally what the conversation is going to be about. Your thoughts and beliefs on things, what you might do in your spare time, anything that ignites any sort of passion about you is generally what the conversation is going to be about. So that is kind of what it is going to be about, Marlon. It could even be about like, sometimes I get the Queen of Wands to be like finding avenues to gain more notoriety or wealth. So it could be about like, I need to get a better paying job, or I want to take on a new role. I want to transfer to that team. So that's also it. Oh, are you asking a question, Marlon? Another question? Do you want me to expand more, or did you have a different question? I want to make sure I pay for that one. I didn't want you to just pull a card. LOL, no freebies. Oh, thank you, Marlon. But you're very supportive. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do think this is going to be a lighthearted conversation. I can even pull a card for that. Yeah, we got the Fool here. So it's going to be a pretty lighthearted conversation. Pretty random, I'll say that. The conversation is going to take some twists and turns because the Fool's a bit unpredictable, but it's nothing, it's not going to be serious. I don't think that they're going to come to you with a serious conversation at all, not with the Fool card energy. I feel like this is just like some laughs and giggles or keeping things casual and light, and friendly. So I feel like it's something like that. The Queen of Wands definitely likes to joke around and have fun. I guess I don't say that enough, with the Queen of Wands energy, but she's a jokester there. So I do feel like this is a conversation that you two are just, you know, enjoying yourselves. You're just having a good time there and letting it naturally flow. Maybe even talking about some things that are completely random that might just pop into your head, things along the lines of that. It's not that structured. You know, it's not like let's stick to one topic. You might guys, it's more than likely you guys are talking about various different subjects throughout this conversation. And the Queen of Wands does like to have an in-depth conversation, but it's not super long. It's not a super long conversation at all. Queen of Wands has lots of things to do, but it's long enough that it's like, okay, we had a good conversation. We can move on from that, you know. But I think it's going to be good. I think it really is. All right. You say, okay, I think I see what's happening. What's happening? Do you think he's trying to get to know you better, or do you think that he's trying to keep things like very buddy buddy for work? Because sometimes that's the case, because sometimes people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to mix work and love or something like that. What do you think is happening? I mean, you know the situation better than me, because you know, you actually know him. The job is too busy and intense to get to know someone, so I do think he's trying to get to know me. That's very strong possibility, especially with the Fool card there. So I guess he's trying to gauge who you are. That does make sense, you know. I am really curious about where this is going to lead. So you're going to have to update me on how things go. Like after this conversation, or after you two get like a moment to like talk, I'm really curious as to, you know, what vibes you get, or, you know, what more you think of him. He also has a girlfriend, and I've hooked up with his brother in the past, so that's a joke we share. I don't really flirt often, since I don't want to be another gay guy trying to get a straight guy. Yeah, I understand. It might be better for him to take the lead. He asked about going to work out, and I've just been standoffish. You know, I guess get to know him and to see what his intentions are. That might be good, you know, because it's possible he might be open. Maybe he's the type of person who hasn't explored his sexuality. I know that happens with a lot of guys who say that they are straight, but then, you know, it really just means that they're kind of like hiding. So I know he has a girlfriend, so I'm not going to encourage any infidelity or anything. It's up to him on what he wants to do, but it doesn't hurt to get to know someone and feel them out to see if what exactly their intentions are, you know. But we shall see, you know. We shall see how this plays out. But there are other guys, if this situation is too sticky, it may be better to find somebody single, no drama, even though easier said than done. I think we all know that, but all right. It has been an hour. I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Marlon. I hope that everything works out for the best for everyone. And I am wishing everyone luck. I am hopefully it's a great weekend. And I will see you all Sunday. So bye. Thank you too.